Good early morning, and welcome back to the late shift with Jason Watkins. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you're in the right place late at night. Welcome into the show, everybody. Make sure you wipe your feet. Make sure you hit that like button. Become a subscriber if you haven't already done so. We're going to talk a lot about Heisman. We're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy, Travis Hunter, and why. It's wild to me that there's so little fanfare for this guy for what he did this season in college football. It feels like a lot of sour grapes because people were wrong about what Colorado was and what he was as a player, man. And I just think that we should talk about it. So jump in here, talk about it with us. Welcome into the show, Bishop Frank. Glad to see you in there. Anybody as you come in, let us know you're here. Let's talk about it. Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner. Should he have won the Heisman? Should he have been the Heisman Trophy winner after playing both sides of the ball? Or is it like what my buddy said last night? Anybody could do this. They just gave him the opportunity to do it. I agree that there's a lot of guys that have played amazing football in college over the years that, they could have put up numbers on both sides of the football. But to be elite and do everything that he did this year and to say that anybody could have done it is crazy talk to me. And, that's a friend of mine, but I'm telling you, Brian Bridges, welcome in. How's it going, sir? He broke the quarterback mold. Trophy says Sooner Legends. Yep. And here comes Charles Crows Fly High. He didn't deserve it. I think you're crazy there, Charles. I think you're crazy. But do tell me why. Why did he not deserve it? I'm going to give you some of the reasons why I think he does. All right, I'm going to give you the reasons why I think he does. He is just the 8th player in Big 12 conference history to win the most prestigious award in college football. The second CU Buffalo to accomplish the feat after Rashawn Salam did it back in the 90s. He had 600 snaps on both defense and offense this season. He's the Big 12 Conference Defensive Player of the Year, first team All Big 12 on offense and defense. The first time a Big 12 player has received all conference accolades on both sides of the football. AP's National Player of the Year, winner of the Chuck Bednarik Award as the nation's top defensive player, and won the Fred Biletnikoff Award as the top wide receiver in the country. He received 61% of those first place votes after being top 5 nationally in receptions with 92, receiving yards with 1,152, receiving touchdowns with 14, and with his receptions and TD catches leading the Big 12 conference in both of those categories. His 14 receiving touchdowns also set a Colorado program record, and he broke another one by eclipsing 100 yards in 7 of his 12 games this season. I'm not giving you hype. I'm giving you reality here, there, Charles. The Buffs Jr. tallied 4 interceptions, which ranked him in the top 20 in the country and tied him for 3rd in the Big 12. He was also among the NCAA leaders in passes defended with 11, despite the fact they didn't really go at him very much. He had 11 pass breakups to go along with 32 tackles. He had 3 touchdowns and an interception in their final regular season game against Oklahoma State, becoming the first player since at least 1996 to achieve that feat. So, it's not hype. Guys, it's not hype. This is real. The guy absolutely got it done. What's up there, Neilio? Welcome into the show, sir. Good to see you. I'll get to the OU stuff at some point and here in a little bit, but I got some stuff to talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about Navy, but I don't really know that that's really what I'm getting into. Let's see. Yeah, no doubt. Well, like I said, I know a lot of people were gonna, you could have talked about some of these other guys too. And if you want to come in here and give me a reason why you think Travis or not Travis, but Ashton Genty, or even a guy like, hey man, I'm a big fan of Cam Scatteraboo as well. It is what it is. What does he say? He's a damn good player. You don't like him. Okay, so you don't like him, so he didn't deserve it? I mean, come on, man. What were the vote totals? He got 61% of the first place votes, I know for sure. I don't know the exact totals on it. I mean, there's thousands of guys that vote for this thing, or at least in the 1,000 plus. So, I mean, 61% of first place votes, though, tells you that out of all those, that's at least what? I don't know, man. It's quite a few. I can look it up. Let's look and see. And I mean, the thing is that to me, this is an award that almost always goes to a quarterback. 61% ain't crazy. Well, okay. Let's see what it says. He received 552 first place votes. Janty earned 309. So he got second place votes 261. He appeared on, well, he had the point totals. He had 2,231 points overall. Ashton Genty, of course, finished second. He had just over he had a lot of second place votes. He had about the same amount of second place votes. I didn't say you're not entitled to your opinion. I didn't say you weren't entitled to your opinion. I just said, give me your opinion on, I mean, if you want to tell me a reason why you don't think you should have won it, is it just because you don't like him, or is it just, or do you have like something other than that? Because I'm going to sit here and give you real reasons why I think he should have won it. Again, Ashton Genty went and did what he did, which is, I'm not even saying anything bad about him as a player. I think he's very good. I think Cam Scatteraboo is very good. I think that Dillon Gabriel had a hell of a season, right? Dillon Gabriel, if you want to talk about a guy that maybe he deserved a little more consideration, okay? They went undefeated in their first year in the Big Ten. Now, they didn't play the toughest of schedules in that, and doing that, they played Ohio State and basically, who else? Penn State at the end, and they almost lost that one. In the end, I just, it is what it is. Who got second? It was Ashton Genty. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You don't like him there, Charles. I see that. Yeah, no, it's all good. He got second. Ashton Genty got second, and he had 517 second place votes. So it was basically a two-person race here. Dillon Gabriel coming in third. He was, he had 500 total points. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a two-horse race here. And again, I said last night, the reason behind, I don't think that to me, there's not even a question though. And there's and I'll say why. Again, I just read off all his stats, being that he had 92 receptions. That's a lot of receptions. 1,152 yards and 14 touchdowns. He was in the top 5 nationally in all of those categories. Top 5. Okay. He led receptions and TD catches in the Big 12. He had 14 touchdowns, which set a CU record. But the thing that I think is the biggest one to me, 600 snaps on both offense and defense. Both offense and defense. That's huge right there. I mean, the guy averaged it was over 125, 130 snaps a game. And, when Bryce came in here last night and was giving me a hard time, he was giving me a hard time the day before that. He was saying that there was a lot of guys that could have done that. Okay, well, that's fair. And his argument is it's because of Deion Sanders that he was able to do that, because nobody else was going to let him play both sides of the ball like that. You know? Let's see. Gentry's not better than 09 Heisman winner Mark Ingram with his 1,900 yards. See, and that's what I'm talking about, right? That's what I'm saying right there, is that when you start looking at what Ashton Jeanty did, and I think he's a fine running back. I think he's very good. I think that he's gonna do great things in the NFL. I like him. You know, I think he's a good player. But I think when you start looking at overall, it's pretty simple to me. There were 3 of the top 15 rushing teams in the country were in the Mountain West Conference, because they got to play against the Mountain West Conference all year. A bunch of defenses that gave up a lot of rushing yards. Just put it that way. It's a G5 conference. There's no way that you can definitively tell me and make me believe that Ashton Jeanty was the best player in the country. There's just no way you can do it. I can look on the field and watch the games and know that every time Travis Hunter steps on the field, he's the best player on the field. That's it. You know, I think he's great. I think Jeanty's great. I think he's good, but I just don't think that he's that guy. And I do believe that Travis Hunter is. And I think that a lot of reason that people, it's just like what, you know, hey, I understand the belief of what Charles, what you're saying. I get it. I get it that people don't like the Colorado Buffaloes. I understand it. They weren't loud this year like they were last year, even though they won a lot of damn games this year. They won 4 games last year, which was a 400% increase from the year before they got there. But then they went out and won 9 this year. And, you know, they were about a step away from playing for a Big 12 championship and getting a chance to play in the college football playoff. Now, I'll just say that the Big 12 is not the SEC. The Big 12 is not the Big 10. I don't even know what I think between them and the ACC. I don't think much of the ACC either. We all know that. But I do think, hey, what's up there, Lance? Yeah, we'll get into all that stuff. We want to talk about this Heisman stuff for a few minutes. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you come in. I appreciate it. Keep Chopping says almost any power 2 running back puts up those numbers in the Mountain West. I mean, 2,500 plus yards or 2,497 or whatever it is. I don't know that any power 2 guy gets it, but I think there's a number of guys that could. But I think you got to be special to do that no matter what. You know what I mean? I really do. But I think that in the Mountain West, it's not as crazy as one would think. Okay. Colorado wouldn't last in the SEC. Not as presently built. I will tell you this, they would have the best quarterback in the SEC how they played in there this year. And Travis Hunter still probably would have been the best player on the field every week. You know? What else? We'll see how he does in the playoff. Jeanty, yeah. You know. Here's the thing. The reason why it would be very hard to do, if let's say Jeanty came in and played, I had an argument from a guy the other day, right? And it was Striped Sooners, the one that was talking about it, as a matter of fact. And I'll kind of go through some of the stuff that he was saying. What was it? Where the hell was it? I have all this stuff there. Anyway, essentially what he was talking about, though, was that he believed that if you were to stick him in there he would have gotten better being on an SEC team because, quote unquote, they would have had better linemen. It would have definitely helped him. That's funny to say, but the truth is that as far as ratings are concerned and the way that you can rank them, Boise State was the top 10 offensive line, or at least whenever you look at it, because they put up the most, especially as far as rushing is concerned. Again, these numbers get skewed because of playing in a league like that. Would that offensive line have done as well in the SEC? Of course not. But the truth is, there's only really one team that has consistently run the football well over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's been Tennessee. They were the number one, and they were the closest to, as far as rushing is concerned, they were one of the top rushing teams in the country already playing in the SEC. Well, there were, if you look at rush defenses, you had 11 SEC teams in the top 50 in rush defense. That's overall everything. So 11 of them. The Mountain West had 3. And Boise State was one of them, right? So you just got to look at it that way. What's up there? Hey, man, burning the midnight oil. Yeah, man, yeah. I just want to get in here and chop it up a little bit about Travis Hunter, and then I'm going to talk a little bit for you Sooners that are in here. I will get into talking about Jackson Arnold and him being headed to or signing with Auburn and everything that they think about that as well. Good to see you in there. What's up, my man? What Travis done is more impressive to play over 80 snaps a game on both sides of the ball. Nothing against Ashton. I mean, yeah, and he was playing more than 80. He was over 100 snaps a game. It's nuts. Nuts. Last year, there's a bunch of times that he would be 150 plays. Kyle McCord at least led the league in passing yards, but in what league? What do you mean? How wild is that? I don't know. I mean, I think it's a testament to the fact that there was, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm not sure how Jalen Milroe doesn't figure in there somewhere in the top 10. Let me go back and look at who was the top 10. Kyle McCord was there. Yeah, you're going to tell me that Milroe's not better than McCord? Bullshit. Curtis Rourke of Indiana, who cares? Shador, the fact that he's number 8 on this list tells you that it's wild. Tyler Warren, Bryson Daly from Army, Cam Scatterboot. Look, it ends up being it's a popularity contest anyways. You know what I mean? You guys better get over there and check out the Gridiron Insider. Yes, with Coach Tim. Thank you, Bishop Frank. Yeah, I know you're not. We'll get there. Well, yeah. But again, I get that part, Purple. Here's the only thing I would say about that. And look, do I think Kyle McCord is as bad as like what you hear from Zach Smith from, that's a OSU show. They're an Ohio State show. And I like Zach Smith and then they're wild, but they bust on him that he was trash and all this other stuff. And obviously that's not the case. He's a better player than that. But do I think that he's better than any of the other quarterbacks? Do I think he's better than almost any quarterback in the SEC? I mean, he was probably better than Jackson Arnold. He was probably better than I don't know how many of the other ones he's better than. Just to be honest with you. Auburn will be interesting to follow. We'll see. We'll see. It might be interesting. All right. I kind of find some of that funny, but it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Is he better than Howard? Probably. I'll say this though. I think they won the same amount of games this year. Maybe McCord may have won one more because they lost to Oregon as well. Well, I don't know. Will Howard, he won a lot of games before that at Kansas State too. We'll see. It is what it is, man. All I'll tell you is, to me, this is easy to me. And it doesn't really matter who's on the top 10. The number one guy had to get right. And it's very rare that you ever get receivers that win the award. It's rare that anybody but a quarterback wins it. I'm going to tell you that there's no way Ashton Jeanty runs for 2,500 yards in the SEC this year, because that was the argument that I was getting from this guy. Oh man, he would have done just as good because he'd had a better offensive line. Well, he had a good offensive line relative to the league that he played in. If you're going to tell me that he would have been as good in the SEC, then you have to look at what is the SEC on defense, especially against running teams. You think that he would have put up 200 yards on Oklahoma? I don't. Do you think he would have done it on Tennessee? I don't. Those guys give up like a little over 2 yards a carry. That's just what it is. You know, yeah, Avery Johnson. I like Avery Johnson. If he pulls those numbers in the SEC, he'd be like Derrick Henry. Yeah, fine. But you got to do that before you call him Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? You don't just become Derrick Henry because you did that in the Mountain West Conference. That's the point. And really, there was only one team that in the SEC that has been consistently one of the best running teams in the country, and it's been Tennessee under Josh Heupel and what they've been doing there. And I think, man, it's out of this world that the running back from there didn't get on this list. How is he not in the top 10? Insanity. It's insanity. And somebody said, it was, I think Richard Shearer was in here saying he had more than 800 yards than the next closest running back. Okay, good. Again, it was in the Mountain West Conference. They have, like I said, 3 teams, as far as rushing overall for a team is concerned, 3 teams in the Mountain West Conference ranked in the top 15. 3. That's because they're all going up against that same damn league. And so it is what it is, man. Let's see. Richard sure knows everything. Yeah. Well, it's a Mizzou. Yeah, I like Richard Shearer, but that ain't it. He's off on this one. And I don't know how you could argue against it. And I understand that Coach Prime and them turned people off last year. I understand it. I'm a fan of Coach Prime. I'm a fan of what they're doing. I think you can talk all the shit you want to about them being loud about it. And I understand that some people, it turns them off. But truth be told, he said what he was going to come in and do. He said what he was going to come in and do. He said what he was going to come in and do, and he did it. I mean, there was how many people before the season were saying they won't win more than 4 games? So don't move the goalposts now when you do that, because I am talking about, hey, they're in the Big 12. I get that. It's not the same as being in the SEC either, but it is the Big 12. It is a power conference. And they competed to get into the championship game of it all the way to the end. Everybody that was picking against them, they're picking Utah or, K-State. I picked K-State. I had K-State, Iowa State. I had them winning 6 or 7 games. I had them winning 6 or 7 games, maybe 8 at the most, but I didn't think they were going to go and win 9 or compete really for the championship. But I do think that overall, you guys are going to let me finish what I'm talking about, then I'll get to the thoughts on Deion Burks and stuff like that, guys. All right, give me a minute. But there are a lot of, they did a lot better, and people were moving the goalposts. Well, yeah, it was in the Big 12. Okay, fine. But you want to give it, but the people that don't want him to have the Heisman, they want to give it to a guy that was in the Mountain West. Didn't have Arizona, but some people did, some people didn't. But, How many people had BYU being up there either? They were picked to finish last. And I think Colorado was right there close by. I had a lot of people saying they won't win 4 games. It'll be 4 games maybe. The fact that Genty had put up those numbers and still only get second says that the conference that they play in was taken into consideration, clearly. Florida State looking real shit-faced right now. Prime should be FSU's next head coach. Yeah, I don't know that he leaves Colorado, man. I don't know that he leaves Colorado. I don't know if that you want to deal with the shit show that he would have to deal with at Florida State. Because, and make no mistake, folks, I'm not even a hater of Florida State, but over the last year and a half, 2 years, I don't understand any of it. They don't look real good right now. You're right. I agree with you. But can they flip it around in the ACC? Yeah, maybe. They're going to be heavy in the portal. We know that. They already are. Gus Malzahn, I mean, his offense could work there. This is what it is. I don't think he's a very good head coach, so, but I know he's done a great job as a coordinator. In the end, I think that the reason that I say that, though, is that I believe, and he's talked about this, is that when it comes to CU and their athletic director, he feels loyalty to him, and Coach Prime feels loyalty to him. And the reason why is because, you know, he brought this up. He was the third straight African-American head coach at Colorado. And Rick George is his name, Rick George. And he said that meant something to him, and I understand that. But he also said, but that means we're going to have to start winning because he's giving us shots. But the fact that he was able to get his shot, he didn't get his chance anywhere else. I think they would have probably hired him at Cincinnati. I think they probably would have hired him at Cincinnati. But he felt like that was the place. And he's done a hell of a job. Yeah, putting asses in seats. Yeah, merchandise deal, all that. He's doing well. And they love him there. I think if anything, the thing that would be hard for Dion to pass it up is they don't love the cold. But I don't think that he should leave either. Yeah, I don't think that he should leave either. And I don't think that he's in any hurry to leave either. You know, I don't. I think he'll get more money, obviously, moving forward. He's picking up recruits like crazy. And now you just added a Heisman Trophy to the list. It's not going to get easier on the people in the Big 12 for damn sure recruiting against him. That's for sure. So anyway, I think that, well, and I mean, is Florida State in a better position than what he is at Colorado? And I would have to tell you, I don't think so. Yeah, the ACC, you could say the ACC, I think they're basically in the same position as far as you get 1 to 2 spots per year right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But again, I feel like a lot of the reason that Travis hasn't gotten enough love for what he just did was the fact that they came in talking a bunch and they took a lot of L's last year. You know, they started hot. It didn't stay that way. Now, I will say, to their credit, they didn't do as much talking. They did more on the field this year. You know, 1 win to 9-3 in 2 years. Yeah, I agree. Well, surprisingly enough, this is not what, but again, most people were moving the goalposts, talking all that shit instead. You know, and I just think it's wild to me. This is wild to me. Let me know what you think, guys. You guys drop it in the comments. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think happens now? Do you think he would even, I mean, it's a good question to ask, is Coach Prime there long-term? And I think that right now, yeah, you're about to be a problem in the Big 12. And that's the reason I don't see him going to Florida State. Marcus. I just don't. Why would you? You've got the same. It's basically you're not even really upping your chances to do better. Traditionally, yeah, Florida State recruits better. Yes, you're in Florida, but it doesn't matter. He can go get those kids anyway. UCF already being in the conference, they're going to go over there every couple of years or whatever. I thought it was freaking smart what he did when they went to UCF. He invited a bunch of the recruits to go and meet him out there. But Prime he can recruit wherever the hell he wants. That doesn't have anything to do with the school. Nothing. It has everything to do with him. But why? Why? I mean, do you not see what I'm saying is why would you leave really? Because as I said, I think he feels loyalty to Rick George. They've been loyal to him. They back him up all the way. He's now won 9 games in year 2. He's moving in the right direction there. I don't know what are you going to get anywhere else unless you go to the SEC or unless you get a Big Ten job like, the Ohio State job or a Michigan job, something like that. Unless you get something that big, I don't really see the point of going to I don't see him going to an ACC program. I don't see that because it doesn't make any sense for you to leave a situation where you've got just as much of a chance to win there as you have to win in the ACC probably. And really, I don't know that you're not in a better position right now. Look at what Florida State just was. I mean, yeah, can they reload? Sure they can. Is it an easier conference? The Big 12 versus the ACC? I guess at the top, if you think of Clemson always being right there, right? SMU, I don't know that they're going to stay where they are. Is Miami good? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I feel about it. So I think you would have to go to an SEC team. Or Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, something like that. And with Ohio State, now that job could be open. You know what I mean? That job could open. Penn State, probably not. I don't really see him doing that one. I could see Penn State, Ohio State, I could see, but I don't really see a lot of Big Ten jobs being his thing. I could see him going to the SEC. I could see him taking, a job like, say, Texas A&M. I could see him taking Alabama if it opened up for damn sure. I could see him taking Florida if Billy doesn't work out. But I think, he's king of the world out there. You know what I mean? He's king of the world out there. They love him. Nothing that he does pisses anybody off at CU. You know why? Because they're freaking hooking it up on him out there. The economy has shot up there. He made $25 million. He made his contract, his 5-year contract in money just in gate in the first year. They made all their money back for their investment in him immediately. So wait, what are we talking about? Ex-girlfriend and wife. Who, Miami? Oh, yeah. Dion, would he work at OU? I don't know. I mean, maybe. It kind of depends, man. I think it kind of depends. I don't think that it's... does he fit? It's not the people. I think the people would be fine with him. You're winning games is all that really matters, right? When it comes to the fans. Now, would he be able to... Would he have the same kind of support behind him? I don't know. And yeah. He would take Mississippi State in a heartbeat if Leb didn't work out. Yeah, and I think that would be more. Maybe. I can see what you're saying, Marcus. We may have to get into that on Monday because I do think that there's some chances to do that. I think that the SEC would definitely pique his interest, right? Oklahoma, yeah, I think winning does solve everything. But I will say, and I'll say this though, I think that you also have to have the reason why I think that a part of the biggest reason why I think that he's not really interested in leaving CU, if at all, certainly for the immediate future, is because he was able to align himself with the people in the higher structure there, the president, obviously the athletic director. Now, he had to kind of jump through some hoops to get there, but having Rick George really back him up on all that, from what I could tell, that's a big part of it. Now, who would he have like that at Oklahoma? I don't know. Curtis Lofton, maybe? Would Josie embrace him? I don't know. It would now see, I'll tell you what I do think about the Mississippi State deal is that you have Selman there is the AD there. And I think he's forward thinking, young, he's an up and comer in that position, I could see that working out. Yeah. I could also see, I honestly don't see a bad situation. Mizzou, I don't think he'd want anything to do with that. Arkansas, I tend to doubt, right? But like South Carolina, sure, why not? Tennessee, sure, why not? Kentucky, I don't know. Maybe. It's not, I don't think it's a no, a definite no. Texas A&M, of course he would take those jobs, I think he would take the job at OU if he could get it. Why wouldn't he? And to be fair, and I will say this, there were people talking about it a little bit. He came up a few times at first whenever the job came up when Lincoln left. If it had been a year later, he might have gotten a little more consideration. But I think they kicked the tires on it a little bit. What he did at Jackson State, Mississippi, people love him. I agree with that. Absolutely. There was a lot of people pissed off at him, though, it seemed like, too. I got a lot of people pissed whenever we were doing content on it when he first went to CU. There was a lot of haters, man. But I get that. You're a little upset, that he left. The breakups are hard. I get that. But I don't know. Sam Pittman, still the head coach. Yes, he is, somehow. Yeah, listen, I think that, look, without him, they're in trouble, right? Now, I will say that they are back in the conference that they did much better in, long before Prime was ever there, right? They've had good coaches and a good program for a long time, right? TC Taylor, yeah, he is. He's doing a great job. That was cool. Did they win? They won the SWAC today, or was it did they already do the Celebration Bowl thing? It was the SWAC championship, wasn't it? I need to look that up. I didn't even pay attention to that. Oh, no. The Celebration Bowl. Huh. Cool. Oh, whoa. They beat SC State up, too. 21-point victory. That's a pretty big deal. So that's basically the national championship then, right? Or the de facto national championship, I guess, for the HBCUs. That's big. They didn't even do that under Coach Prime. That's good stuff. Good for TC. Good for TC. That's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. They said Travis shouted out Jackson State also. And he's the first, I didn't even know that part. He's the first former HBCU player to win the award. That's awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I think it's great. I think it's good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. All right. So it looks like we still just got mostly OU guys in here. Let's talk a little bit about some OU stuff. Jackson Arnold has a new home in college football at Auburn University, and it appears he's locked up another starting gig in the SEC. How long does he hold on to it is the question. Now, I'm not going to get crazy here with talking a bunch of trash and stuff, but I will say this. Shout out to Trap House Boomin, who said he just became an item on the menu for Oklahoma. And he will be back in the Palace next year for a game against the Sooners in their house. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. He's going to be a menu item, though, as the Trap said. I thought that was hilarious, by the way. Good stuff. Can't wait for Auburn to come to Norman. Will he start it at Auburn? Yes. I think that's clear. He was not. I think this is where I was watching one of the Auburn shows this afternoon or this evening when they were talking about that. And because they're saying, okay, they still have to get another quarterback or something as well, right? And so they were talking about, is it possible still Malik Murphy? No way. No way. Malik is out. Guaranteed. Because in order for him to sign now, that tells me that he was going to have to compete with somebody down at Mississippi State, probably, or either that or, the first guy was going to sign there. It had to have been promised that. Either that or he got a shit ton of money. But there ain't no way. They're getting both of them. And I honestly believe that I'm going to say the same thing kind of about Oklahoma, and you're probably not going to like what I got to say, but I don't think Mateer's coming to OU. I'm starting to wonder if he is. But I believe that there's no way that they're still going after Malik Murphy. No way. How much will that ticket cost? Well, it'll kind of depend, I think. I don't think it'll be that much unless they're like really good. Mintz is already at Duke, signed and sealed. It's over. I could be completely wrong about Mateer, but I'm just saying there's a side of me that's starting to wonder. And the reason for that is that, when you look at where they are right there on that, and here's my feeling. I feel like you look at Ben Arbuckle and he's coming in. Do I think, yes, I understand you went and got. It's easy to draw the lines. It's easy to draw the lines to Mateer, right? They just went and got his quarterback coach. He's coming to be assistant quarterback coach, blah, 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 whatever. He's one of his top assistants and already has been. So I don't think that that's necessarily aligned to John Mateer. What I think is he needed him either way. But you have to look at it now. He's been there for a week, 2 weeks full that he's been in Norman. I'm sure he's gotten to see some stuff. They're in bowl practices. He's seeing some things out of Michael Hawkins, who, again, yeah, they've got a high school guy in Deuce Knight. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Oh, you just hired Washington State's quarterback coach. I get that. I don't think that it's that. That's not even where I'm headed with it, my man. That's not even where I'm headed with it. The bridesmaids. You're getting weird vibes. I think that the weird vibes are this. They signed Michael Hawkins out of high school and probably should have started him last year. And I think that the guys that are left on that staff know that shit. Now, that I agree with, Orca. I don't think it's necessarily going to be Mateer. I do think that it's going to be somebody because you got to go get some quarterbacks either way for depth, if nothing else. And if they signed Mateer and Mateer was willing to come in and battle that out, great. The reason that I don't, and I'm not going to sit here and say this, that I don't think he's coming because he doesn't want to battle it out. What I think it is that he's already shown it's a business thing now. He's already shown that he's that guy. All he has to do now is he play pretty well at the next level up, and it could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be at Oklahoma. He led the country in touchdowns. So, he can, if he moves up to a power conference at all, just a power conference seat somewhere, and he's going to play, I think Missouri is probably in play. Right? They've got an easy schedule. He doesn't have to actually win the whole thing, but who's going to battle him out there? I don't know. I'm spitballing with that. But if you come into a situation where I believe that Arbuckle already knows, see, this is it right here. You come into this situation and Arbuckle knows what he's got now. He's watched film. He's watched shit tons of film, and he's all in his bag on what can I do with this kid. Marcus is saying most talented quarterback out there. He needs to be coached up. Yeah. And guess what? You're getting a guy that's getting coached in the offseason by Kevin Murray. I think that he's probably talking to Mateer and saying, look, yeah, we'd love to have you, man, but I'm just going to be real with you. You're going to have to beat this guy. And we'll pay you, but you're going to have to actually win the job. Because if you don't, you're not going to be the starter. And it's probably not a great business decision for Mateer to do that. Right now, he's got a clear path to the NFL. Clear path. You come in and you lose the job to a true sophomore who, and they were trash on offense last year for obvious reasons that we know, but not everybody knows that, and that's not the narrative that'll be out there. Now, I agree with what you're saying here. If he doesn't want to compete, I don't want him. I got it. But here's what I think you can go do, though, is you can go find a guy. Michael Hawkins' only quarterback coach he's had so far is Charles Thompson. That's not true. That's not true. He works all the time with Kevin Murray, Kyler's dad. Come on, Orca. Wake up. Hawkins requires a spy. Feet are dangerous. Dude, all that is true. He also can throw the hell out of the ball. He can throw it different levels, different layers, off platform. He can beat you in a lot of ways, man. I'm telling you, I've been saying this. You guys can mark my word again. He will be in New York over the next 3 years. Casey Thompson was well, I knew what you were saying. I'm just busting your chops, man. And here's the thing. Yeah, now you've got two quarterback coaches. You've got the coordinator and his assistant, who a lot of people think a lot about. If you've been hearing anything about this guy, it's something else. Smart guy. I love it. I think it's going to work out pretty well, right? In the end, I think if you're Ben Arbuckle and you've got, look, I know people were saying, well, he's going to have, an allegiance to this kid that he's already coached. Except that your real allegiance needs to be to yourself. How do I win the most games? How do I score the most points that I become a head coach sooner than later? Because I've done well with him. Now I take a guy with more talent, because I'm not saying anything bad about Mateer, but he's not on the level of talent that Michael Hawkins is. Let's be real about it. He's not. He's a hell of a competitor. He looks like a competitor to me. But the truth is they've lost to New Mexico and Wyoming in the last few weeks of the season. And he didn't always look great. So it's not like he's a perfect quarterback. And I don't think that you need to be. But if he was willing to come in and win the job, I think that's best case scenario for Oklahoma. Because even if you saw what Michael Hawkins said yesterday, hey, we need more people in here, but I'm ready to compete. He wants to be at OU. He said all the right things, and I didn't expect anything else. What's a bold prediction? That he'd win the job? No. Okay. It could be. When I mentioned that he needs coaching, I mean he requires guidance in the specific system he'll be operating. Absolutely. I think you're right. Well, and yeah. Well, they need coaching in the room, period. I agree with that. Yeah, I disagree with this one. Why isn't he ready? Tell me why. Don't tell me he's not. Tell me why he isn't, Charles. Come on, man. You know how the rules are around here. You can't just say stuff like that and not back it up. See, right here. Little context, folks. Think about that. Why didn't Mateer already have a job at Oklahoma? Why wasn't he already at OU? That's the point I'm trying to make. Right here is what I mean. Look, he was a better prospect, and I still tell you that he was an underrated prospect. Now, his senior season in high school was much better than his junior year. But his junior year wasn't terrible. It just wasn't near the same. Hold on. Why are you scared of that? I think you know what I would be afraid of with him? That if you had a coach that's going to stick him in the fucking pocket like what you had before. They didn't want him running. They didn't let him. They weren't wanting him out of the pocket. They were trying to turn him into a pocket passer, which is another thing that tells you that Seth Littrell didn't know what the hell he was doing. That's all. And I'll just say it. Like I said, look, I don't think that it's hard to judge anything based off of this year. And I would include that in what I was about to talk about with Jackson Arnold as well. You ain't scared of shit? I'm not scared of shit either. I ain't scared of shit either. I'm certainly not scared of anything when it comes to, I think Michael Hawkins is a competitor, man. I think he's grown up with, man, there's not a whole lot that if you guys should really go back and look, if you don't know the story of his dad, of what he had to go through in high school to get recruited and end up at Oklahoma. You can talk about what happened at Oklahoma and whatever, and look, that is what it is. I'm going to tell you guys, this dude was living on the streets. He's hardcore, man. Hardcore. And his kids are hardcore too. Nothing was given to him. The shit he had to go through at Allen that year before he went to over there, he needs more time. What do you nobody knows that, though. Nobody knows that. He didn't have the right time with the right coach in there. If we really believe in Ben Arbuckle, I'll tell you this. He will know whether he needs more time or not. And if he thinks that that's the case and you allow him to compete for it, we'll find out. BV has to win. Of course he does. Of course he does. Let me just ask you a question, though. Just a competent scheme. The line is going to be a damn sight better than it was this last season. It was better the entirety of the last half of the season. We know that. The scheme was still bad. It was still bad. The play planning, the play calling, it was bad. Aside from that, look, aside from the Alabama game. But when they put that right scheme, which had to have been Kevin Johns, by the way, we know that. What did they do? What would he have done in that game? What would you think about Michael Hawkins if he'd taken a couple of those long runs that you saw Jackson make in that game, and there were touchdowns instead of just, 30, 40-yard runs? I don't think it hurts the situation at all. Who do you think is going to come in and just automatically be QB1 Heisman Trophy winner? Because I'm telling you, I don't think it's Mateer. It's not. Dylan Gabriel also deserving recognition as far as Seth isn't a QB guru and Jackson has a chance to be great. Does Michael, as great as Michael does, but they're both young and with the young and raw rebuilt offensive line. I think that the line is right where it needs to be at this point. You can say, and you're talking about if ifs were a fifth. Okay. What about it? There's talent there. The problem with JA is the talent. It's between his ears. But I think that the line is developing right on plan, right on schedule too. That 24 class, and the guys in the 23 class, there's some good ones in there too. No, it doesn't hurt them. The hurt would be, to me, is I think you got your guy now. You already have him. My true belief is that you already have him. If Mateer wants to come in and fight for the job and he was to win the job, and I've said this, guys, to you already a bunch of times, I'm fine if you come in and beat Michael out. If you guys are right and think that he needs more time, which, again, I don't believe that. But let's just say that. Mm-hmm. See, and I'm not even saying it in terms of, we're going to win games just on the offensive line is what Stason says. I agree with that. Good call. It is Mateer. It's not Mateer, dude. Mateer is not better than him. That's just it. He's not, and what Marcus is saying, he's not going to come. His future is already determined. He knows that Hawkins will present a challenge, and that's not what he's seeking. And it's not necessarily that I get what you're saying, and maybe, if we were talking, I think I may know exactly what you're saying, but there's context that I want to put to it. I think that it's not that he doesn't want to challenge. I think that he's a baller. I think that he's the kind of guy that, yes, he can go in and he's going to win games for whoever it is. I really do think so, right? But I think that if you've done what he's done at Washington State, he's proven that he can win games, get a lot of touchdown passes, do well within an offensive system. I think that he's proven that. So now he gets a better opportunity. He's already done that. But is it a better opportunity at OU when you've got a guy like Michael Hawkins in there trying to get that job too? And he might be better than me. And if you're Mateer, just like I said with Jackson, I think Jackson knew in spring, shit, I ain't the guy. This is the guy. And they know. And sometimes, man, they smell that. This is why I'm not a big Jackson Arnold guy. I think it was a terrible mistake too to go to Auburn. Terrible mistake. Okay. But who says they're going to be? No. Wrong. This ain't a wide receiver coach problem. The wide receivers were hurt. And they were getting open at times, and Jackson wouldn't throw it. Do you remember the Missouri game? He wouldn't throw the damn ball. Burks is over there on the sideline. He had Burks in, and he was open. Throw the fucking football, he's yelling at him. No, you can't be a one-dimensional offense. You can't. This is funny to me. He's only played in high school, dude. You've actually seen that if you paid attention in the Tennessee game at all, you've actually seen Michael Hawkins do it at the collegiate level. I like Jaden O'Neal. I don't think he's going to be better than Michael Hawkins. I don't think he's that talented. I think he's got a big arm. I think he's a big kid. All he's done this is high school so far. Damn right it could have been. Think about this. There was quiet talkers about that the best guy out there was Michael Hawkins in the spring. And then there was people that weren't as quiet saying the same thing. And then whenever it got into the fall camp, and what were we hearing whispers about? That Jackson was throwing too many fucking interceptions. And that they weren't scoring on our defense ever. And there were people that were talking about it then that they needed to go with Hawkins. I'm telling you, when you start hearing whispers, you're already screwed. Especially if, again, I'm going to say this like I said the other day, these quarterbacks know who's winning who's winning between them, who's better. They know. And if you're having a real quarterback competition, you damn well know who it is. Who's one negative dude? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Well, I think Jay should have gone to the Big 12 too. I do. I damn sure don't think that you should have gone to little brother. It was a little brother move, man. That's all I'm gonna say. It was a little brother move. I'm negative. How am I negative? Who am I being negative about? I'm being positive about. I think that the quarterback you need is already there. You've been recruited him. He's already in the system. He's ready. And the guys that were coaching there last year, calling plays and shit, they're no longer there. Here we go. What? I don't care what this guy says, man. You can say whatever the hell you want. I'm not negative. In fact, I think that Oklahoma's going to be fine. I think they win 8, 9, 10 games next year. I'm not ready to exactly tell you all of that. I want to see that they finish off getting the rest of these guys, these playmakers that they need. I think they're going to be fine, though, because I trust in what they're doing. I agree with what they're doing. I'm grateful that you got rid of. I think that they had to have this year for you to get rid of Seth Luttrell, and you had to get rid of Seth Luttrell for this to happen. Sure, why not? I'll tell you this. Why do I say 8, 9, 10? Look at that schedule, man. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. You're going to have some tough games in there. You got games on the road right there. Norman, nobody's out there. Get over here. I think you have to. I think you have to have it. If you know, yeah. Well, I don't know about all that, but I think that they're going to be competing for a spot. What kind of offense will the new OC run? I think it's going to be like it is, air raid principles, but I think he's going to do what's best for whoever ends up in the job. I mean, I'm telling you, I think that it's Michael Hawkins. So I think that you can do some good things with what he already runs, running the football and being able to get a lot of guys open. You got to scheme some of these dudes open. I don't think Mateer is definitely coming. I don't. I think you're drawing that line, and it's a lot easier to draw that line because of that quarterback coach thing. That doesn't have anything to do with Mateer. That has everything to do with that's Arbuckle's boy. I'm just saying the reason I believe that Mateer may not be coming, and I'm not saying I don't want him to, but it's like I'll just repeat what I said a minute ago. It's not that I think that he's not willing to compete. I think that he's already competed and got a job and done well enough to get a job at the next level up. Whether it's in the SEC or not is neither here nor there. But to get, I could see like a place like Mizzou. I could definitely see that and they're probably really aggressive right now on him. But what I really think is that Arbuckle has talked to him. Yeah. Hey, man, you're going to have to win the job. Of course you can come here. We'd love to have you. But seeing what I'm seeing from this kid, it's not an easy thing for you to do. And as a business decision, I could see that he wouldn't do it. That's just the truth of it. How the SEC what? No, they gave it to him because they did it twice. It was 100,000, but then they did it early, so they added another. Hawkins needs a Kyler offense. That's what you're about to get. Why would he stay at Washington State? He's not. I didn't say he's done. I didn't say he was going to stay there. That's not what I said. He could stay there, I guess, but I don't see it. How do you? He's a Texas kid. You're not in love with Pullman, Washington. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be a huge year. You definitely have to put a lot around him. Yeah, and look, I don't know if you guys have heard what Coach Rick said yesterday. It appears Oklahoma's back in the mix with Giovanni Gibson. They've got guys coming in to visit. I have that down here. Isaiah Hunter from Cal, stud. Jaron Bradley's coming in from Boston College. He's a stud too. He was at Tech when EJ was there. He recruited in there. Big body kids. You know, our defense has to stay exceptional as well. Look, you're losing a couple of guys off of there, but again, you're looking higher up. Miami and Mateer. I could see that too. Look, if he goes to a place like Miami, he knows he's going to get to do it. And in the ACC, it's a step up from where he is. They'll have a chance to go to the playoff. It makes sense, and they'll probably overpay for that. Could he end up at Oregon? I guess he could. Yeah, I guess he could. I think that they're probably ready to see about Dante though, so he would probably have to compete there as well. So I don't think it's a slam dunk for him to go to Oregon, right? But it's not out of the realm. And I think Miami's probably a better option for him, or a better more appealing than would be Missouri. $19.5 million for a quarter. Is that what they're saying it is now? I heard like 12, but I didn't hear that. Holy shit. Miami material makes sense. I don't know what I think about that. I don't think he's that good. Prayers for Julie. Always prayers for Julie. Absolutely. Look, here's what I can hear what you're saying. You're not hurting mine. I think that he needs to be a no-show at OU because if you're Ben Arbuckle, if he shows up at OU, one of two things happen. Either you're not paying attention to what you see in front of you, and so you're just going to go with the guy that, to me, I don't see how with his skill set, if you're a guy worth your salt, that you don't want him instead. I just think that there's something to it. Now, I will say this one more time. I'm not saying that I don't want a really good quarterback, but I think it has to be a quarterback that really we don't know who he is yet. It's the quarterback that Mateer was when he started last year at Washington State. Who the hell? Nobody knew who the hell that was last year. You know what I mean? That's who you go get, because to him, okay, I really haven't gotten my shot to be that guy yet. Whoever this guy is, I'm saying I'm outlining who that is, Moosehead. So it's a guy that, say, I don't know, maybe they didn't have as good a year. Let's talk. I don't know the guy at San Diego State or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm thinking of places, Fresno State or somebody like that. Don't know who they got even. But I'll tell you this, there's quarterbacks everywhere. I'll tell you who another one might be. He's maybe still a little bit young, but I was thinking about the guy that just left Utah, right? Which is wild. But there's guys all over the country that you just haven't heard anything yet because they haven't blown up. And Mateer's a fairly sexy name because you were going after their coach. Otherwise, were you really paying that much attention to Washington State? No, you probably weren't. I've seen him a couple of times this year. I wasn't thinking about Mateer. And I watch a shit ton of football. I watch it all the time. There's games on right now. If he don't start next year, see, and that's the whole thing, is if you start getting into this promising shit to people, you're not doing the right way. Somebody needs to come in and beat him for the job, is what I'm getting at. If you don't have a real competition for Hawkins next year, and let's say you brought in Mateer, I said this, if you bring in Mateer and you hand him the reins and you don't have a real competition, he's out. You lost him. You have to know that. They all, and believe me, these coaches know that shit. That's why I feel like Arbuckle came in. He's been watching the film. He knows who he is. They've got practice film. He knows who he is. Believe that. He watches that freaking Tennessee second half and licking his chops because you know what? He just came in and balled out. They let him go and do what he could do. No starting job should be promised. You damn right. You damn right. Sounds about right for Okie State to roll with Alan Bowman again. Year 15 in college football. I don't know. In 2025 backup guy, I mean, like I said, it could be any number of guys, right? Could be any number of guys. But you go out there and get somebody that you think that, you know what, he's going to come in and provide. And even if he doesn't know if he's going to be, what I'm getting at is you need to have a guy that's good, though. He has to be good. Hey, a Cam Rising would be like, that'd be kind of cool, except that you can't depend on him. You certainly wouldn't expect him to come in as a starter. But if he didn't have to be a starter and he could stay healed, and then if anything happened to Michael Hawkins, sure, I would trust Cam Rising all day long. That dude's a badass. But in the end, all I'm saying is I look at it as there's a lot of guys out there. There's guys that we don't know anything about. The guy who was the kid that was at Texas State last year, and he ended up, I want to say he got I think he became the quarterback at Troy this year. I think that's right. Killed it. He had to buy Geritol. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Let's take a look at what we got in here. How many likes do we have? We have had 500 viewers on here. You guys better not disappoint me. 23 likes. Are you shitting me? I'm done in 10 minutes if we don't hit 50. That's bullshit. Come on, man. We've got 40 people in the one stream right now, and we've got 25 likes. Come on now. Hook it up. Don't be that guy. That's hilarious, Neilio. Jared Rising being sponsored next year by Geritol. Oh, you basketball is real. Yeah, they are. They're looking good, man. He did. I don't know if he's healthy there, Easy. I don't know if he's healthy. Guys, I need you to hit the like button. Come on. Help it out. That's a free way to help the show. You can also get into the Pod merch store, though. We've got some really cool merch. In fact, I'm going to pull that up and share that and do a little commercial since you guys ain't hitting the fucking like button. There's the Eeyore Doom and Gloom shirt here. Why would we even show up at all? Oh, Sooner Eeyore. We definitely need more than a couple of quarterbacks. There's no doubt about it. But we also have the Hall of Fame gear as well. A lot of our different logo T-shirts and stuff like that. Hats. For you Sooner fans, I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff. We got the Alabama State Champ shirts. Where the hell? Oops, not that one. It's hoodie season, folks. It's hoodie season. You got your Alabama State Champs hoodie. It's got the scores from both of them on there as well. It's a good way. Hey, it'd be great to be wearing that whenever you show up at the Palace for Auburn next year. Maybe a little hot still. But yeah, we got a bunch of different stuff. We also have our one of the other ones that I really like is It Always Meant More at Oklahoma right here. You got your horns down gear as always, but It Always Meant More at Oklahoma. That's kind of playing off of the SEC stuff. Make sure you jump in here, check all this stuff out. This is the QR codes, nice little special announcement for Texas fans in audience. You got Coaches I Don't Give a Shit shirt, hats, T-shirts, all the way around. Oklahoma versus the world. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Get in there and check it out. hofmedia.us/pod-merch. Okay. You can also, if you're looking for regular Sooner gear, licensed stuff, go into the store on hofmedia.us/fanatics. hofmedia.us/fanatics. That is all officially licensed stuff from the Fanatics store. You're going to get the best deal of the day, period, on that link right there. We get a small commission, and when I say small, it's small, but it is a small commission But, hey, you'll get a great deal. I saw 70% off yesterday. In fact, I ordered a really good hat for like $20, and it was like $35, man. The one I saw it about a month ago. So it is what it is. Yeah, check it all out. All right. Horns down got a lot of play this year. Always does. It always does. All right. Let's see. Bots are leaving. I'm not saying the material's a saver, but we need more depth than just two quarters. No, there's no doubt about it. And and you've got Jet coming in, which I like Jet. I think he's going to be pretty good. I don't know that he's going to be like that guy, right? I don't know that he's going to be that guy as a freshman for sure. So that's not who you want as your backup. You need to have a guy that he's on his way to being a starter somewhere. Or maybe he was a starter and he had a good year, but they weren't. He's just not on your radar right now, right? Who is? Oh, boycotting shows their ignorance for almost all players portal. Yeah, I think that they're trying to make a statement about keeping that coach, right? Is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, if you're looking on Fanatics right now, for sure, you can still get it before Christmas, but it has to be by the next 2 days, I believe, in order to do that. You would love a new hoodie, Mom? Maybe so. Maybe so. Welcome in, Mom. UGA fans hate Texas. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Who among us doesn't? Fuck Texas.
But the brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Good stuff. All right. You'll always be the head asshole. Yeah, I don't know. That may be me. Could be me. Let's see. Not a great look to boy. I get what they were doing, though. She has. Yeah, and we got the alternate logo, and it's the one that's on the hat, obviously, without the HOF part on it. But I mean, there's a bunch in there, and I just keep on kind of adding to it. So I'm kind of adding to it. Transfer portal going to kill bowl games. Yeah, they have to redo bowl games anyways, guys. That's the whole thing. Is you kind of have to do that. You're going to have to do it. Some different things to kind of make it, more appealing, I guess. Bringing some opportunities money-wise for those kids because they make a lot of money off of them for sure. Big sponsors and all that stuff. There's a reason why they continue to have them. Who is going to take over the defensive captain position? I like it. I like that question. Who you guys think it is? Y'all let me know in the chat. I like it. In fact, let's see where we get here. Man, ain't no way. No way. All right, so we're down on viewers a little bit. I guess I'll piss some people off. Talking about Michael Hawkins being and no material. It's going to piss everybody. I knew that was going to piss people off. I got to tell you, I don't care. I think that Michael Hawkins is the guy. I think he's the guy. I think the players think he's the guy. And you have to give him that opportunity. There's your answer. Ding, ding, ding. There it is. Definitely right up there for that. I think it'd be Kip. I think some opportunity. You're going to get leadership from guys like Stoney. I think if you're able to get R. Mason Thomas is another leader guy, right? Peyton Bowen, ESJ or RSJ. I think it's Kip Lewis though. I think you're right. I think that's the guy. I think this is who they would vote as their captain, don't you think? Oh, Kip 6. It's got to be old Kip 6. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a great situation. I think that people have to recalibrate their expectations for bowl games, you know. You got to recalibrate them a little bit. Man, I like him, dude. He's a stud. Yeah, and he pursues the ball carrier. He's not afraid. He was a little undersized, last year, and he's definitely put on some weight and stuff. But he's just got a nose for the damn football, man. And he's really learned the position. I think that him and Danny, Danny helped him a lot, and he just kind of took it. I think he was basically. I mean, Danny Stutzman was the leader, no doubt about it. But I think he was already kind of your emotional leader, right? Yeah. Starting the season with bowl games, that's not a terrible idea. Huh. I like that idea, actually. It's pretty cool. I think you need to look at it as more of a, yeah. I mean, well, you're still, you still want to have some bowl games of some kind either way, I think. I don't know exactly what it's a good thought, though. Pick Lewis. Yeah. You. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, he's a stud. Rather see the bowls tied to spring practice somehow. Well, and I mean, I think people have always talked about, that they used to didn't mean anything or whatever, but now they're back to that, If we can get the offense running well, Texas, Mizzou, Tennessee, and South Carolina should be wins. Yeah, except for the thing is, Tennessee, South Carolina, and the Texas game. Yeah, I definitely could see that. But I could also see. I mean, Tennessee's not getting worse. They're not getting worse. They got a quarterback coming back. I mean, that's in Neyland Stadium. We didn't beat them this year. Could you win? Yes, you should win too. It's not going to be an easy one though. In South Carolina, going on the road there is going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough on the road at South Carolina. But I don't know that I don't believe in Beamer. I just got to be real with you. I don't believe in him. I think that doing what they did this year, there's going to be all this momentum, and he's going to shit down both legs. It's just what he's going to do. It's what Beamer does. I'm not a Beamer guy. Yeah. Sawchuk, Gavin, I don't know. I'm surprised he's not in the portal, to be quite honest with you. Where do I see areas of concern? I think the big area of concern is obviously you got to get another quarterback in there that's serviceable if you were to lose Hawkins, or that could compete with him and make him the best that he can be, even if you beat him out. If you go get John Mateer and he's able to beat Hawkins out of the job, then I think you're fine. Or you go get anybody that you go get. If they're able to beat Hawkins out of the job, then fine, you go with them. But it's got to be a competition thing. That part is important. You need two of them basically, because right now it's thin. You got two guys in the room. So it's obviously an area of need. As far as starters are concerned, I feel good about where we are with our starter. I do. If no matter who shows up, I think that it's going to be Michael Hawkins, but this is just an opinion, but that's my belief. Now, aside from that, yeah, I think that you go get 2 or 3 more of these guys, wide receiver guys that are studs. And when I say studs, I'm talking that guy. And I love it that most of the guys that they're pursuing are all big dudes. You know, that they're 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". I love that. I think it's important, and I think it tells you a lot about what Arbuckle wants. And I think honestly, you know, EJ already was kind of going down that way anyway. I like Bradley from Boston College. I like that Isaiah Hunter kid too as well. I think you ought to make a big pursuit for Deuce Robinson. I really do. The one I want to see the most, you know, JJ Gibson, Coach Rick's nephew, Giovanni Gibson. He's the guy. That dude should have been HBCU Player of the Year, and you know, he didn't get it, but he's that dude. Coach Dent was talking about it. He saw him at the game, was like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to allow it. Yeah. There's some hoops you got to jump through. And I got to tell you guys, some of that stuff is probably, if you're concerned about what is happening with you know, with the injuries and stuff like that, you're about to see a model where they're not going to be practicing as much anyways. What's up there, chicken? Yeah, I'm about to be done, man. I've been going for a good while now. But let me know what you think. Who's the guy for you? Chicken, we've been talking about the quarterback situation. I came in, we were talking about Travis Hunter. But I think that the whole deal, I don't know that you end up seeing Mateer. You may, but I'm concerned if he does show up that either it would concern me if Arbuckle isn't looking at what he can get out of a guy like Michael Hawkins and not being like, yeah, you're going to have to beat this guy. And in that case, I think that you would have to look at it as, okay, if you can get to do that, fine. If he can beat him, great. If he really believes that. But I think you don't have time if you're BV to not have the guy. Yeah, I kind of figured that was the case with you, chicken. I don't know that Mateer, and I don't think that you can really feel bad about Mateer if he doesn't show up, because I think that there's other options for him to where, not saying that he's not worthy of or willing to compete, but I think that he has shown and he's gotten himself an opportunity of, you know, auto starter at a place that you can be. Now you're a little more under the spotlight, and chances are you help your career moving forward. I think that if you come to Oklahoma and lose it out to Hawkins, you're screwed. And I think just business decision wise, I don't think it's a great idea for him. So I don't see that. KU has Jalen returning for his last season of eligibility, but quite a few up here think he'll shop his services around as he did last summer. Would I see OU as a fit? Absolutely. Yeah. Hell yeah. I think that what he's able to do, especially running the ball now, he's gotten hurt a little bit. So I would concern me him running around too much. But oh yes, dude, Jalen Daniels is a dog. But Duke can play, man. Duke can play. Ooh, I like that idea. I didn't know that. I didn't realize he was really shopping himself around that much, but it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Nothing should surprise any of us at this point. Get more money. Get all you can. And we know KU can afford it. Make them pay you. Well, I can see it. I like Jalen Daniels. I think he's a little breakable, right? Do I think Haynes King will try to go somewhere? He's already been in enough places. I don't think so. And I'm not a Haynes King guy, to be honest with you. So if you're saying, oh, you know. Yeah, I can see that. That's something we'll ask. We'll have to ask Big Bo what he's hearing too. They've been. I guess the 247 guys have been getting a hold of him the last week or so about some of the guys. Yeah. I think you can play. That's absolutely. He's breakable for sure. You know, he's 2 seasons where he didn't play at all, but this last season he didn't get hurt at all. So, you know, I don't know, man. I think that you definitely now is a good idea. I don't know that would I see him as a fit for OU? Maybe, but same thing I said about Mateer is he's already proven that he can play at a high level, and they played really well down the stretch, right? I don't know that he wants to come in and risk getting hurt or losing the job to Michael Hawkins, possibly. Same as Mateer. I feel like he could probably get softer landing spot, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a good question. Definitely something I'm going to have to bring up. Who were we talking about? We were just talking about Jalen Daniels from KU, Kansas. Yeah, I mean, I think that, again, I don't know that he fits the exact model that I've been in my head about today. Really? Huh. The red shirt, he redshirted the past season. Was he the kid that went in that Texas Tech game after they got Bean hurt? Is that who you're talking about? Or was he a true freshman? Now you got me thinking. That was a good question. Kansas quarterbacks. Was it Miles Kendrick or no? No, that was a junior. He was a junior, so never mind. Cole Ballard. That was Cole Ballard you were talking about. Okay. Oh, okay. He redshirted. He was in his first year period, so he's a freshman. Cool, man. That's cool. Where did Ballard end up? Because I didn't see him on that depth chart for them, right? Is it Isaiah Marshall? Is that who you're talking about? Okay. I'll check him out. It's good. It's good to know. So if he was like ready to go or whatever, that's cool. I like it. I'll have to go look him up. I like it. All right, cool. Guys, I've been going for about an hour and 45 minutes now. Hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go check him out for sure. We'll kind of talk about that. But I don't know. You let me know what you think. I could be off. I mean, look, I could be wrong, first of all, about who I think is coming. The reason I feel like Mateer, you would have heard a little more, but I also felt the other day, now I'll say this. The other day I was thinking that he was coming for sure. And that's why you weren't hearing about them recruiting harder for any of these other portal guys. I don't know that they haven't been for sure because they're kind of quiet about everything they do, but it just feels like they're in the market for material maybe a little bit. But I do feel like maybe they're not. Or maybe, and now that, look, practice film is something that these coaches have the, ability to do. And if he identified early on Arbuckle that they weren't using Michael Hawkins right at all and that he can unlock this kid, he may be seeing stars or have big money signs in his eyes right now, thinking, shit, look at this. I mean, what could you do with a guy like that can do everything? My little bro's a chicken hawk, played baseball in Larrytown. I get the KU crap info from him, a few close friends. Okay. Who happen to be chicken dork. Squawk, squawk, chicken hawk. FKU. Only Coach V and stuff know what's going on. Yeah, and that I kind of agree with. So, but I'm saying though, I tend to believe that there's been a lot of weird smoke about where he may not be coming and stuff. And so I don't know. You know what I mean? It's, to me, I feel like if you start seeing, if Arbuckle knows that, and he says to him, look, yeah, we'd love to have you, but you're going to have to actually win the job. And I got to tell you, this kid is unreal good. So is it a best opportunity for you? If you really like the kid, you want to give him a good situation too. You know, you don't want him to, get rid of all the work that you've already done. You want him to go and like get a better situation. So I'm not saying that Mateer is not a competitor if he doesn't come and do it. I think that Jackson Arnold isn't a competitor. He left the situation. If we're going to be real about what I think, that's it. And I think that they signaled today, Auburn did, that they're out on Malik Murphy, completely out, because there's no way that Jackson signs if he's got to go up against Malik for the job. No way. I don't buy it. So that's my feelings. Good luck to him moving forward. But I think he just, like Big Trap said, shout out to Big Trap again. He just put himself on the menu for Oklahoma. Never. You made me laugh, chicken. You are the man. Well, the media needs to watch and observe. Okay. I think there's a lot of stuff that can happen, though. But I would say that I could see that there's a lot of guys out there that you just may not know who they are. Like, I didn't know who this Isaiah kid was until just right now. But chances are he's going to come in and he's going to push, but maybe he's not ready to win it yet. And that's probably okay with him. No, Malik is the corner. What? Yeah, they should be. That's funny shit. Murphy's going to Miami. Okay, I could see that. I was talking about Malik Hawkins, man. Not Malik Hawkins, Malik Murphy. But he's out. Oh, did I say Malik Hawkins? I may have said that when I was talking about Auburn. Malik Murphy, I'm saying he's out because if there's no way that Jackson would have signed there otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at on it. All right. We're going to see what happens, guys. And I mean, I could be wrong on this. I could be wrong. Maybe Mateer comes in. Maybe he wins the job. Maybe that is the plan all along. If he comes in, he better have to win the job. Because if not, you're just going to push Michael out. And I don't look. Could Mateer be good enough to go and win the whole thing? Maybe. But I know there's going to be that guy. Yeah. Jalen Rose is going to play for the Purple next fall. Petaway visited. Hey, man, I'm glad about that. I hope that Petaway works out. There were some issues going on there towards the end with him. I don't know what it is, but he's a talent, man. He is a talent. And I don't know. Some of it, I've heard some different things. I'm not too sure, but I think it might end up working out there. And Jaden is going to be, Roe, that guy's going to be lots of fun. I like it. I'm glad he caught on there for sure. I like that staff, man. I like KU staff. And y'all take care of those guys out there for sure anyway. Y'all take care of them. Isaiah's the truth. Well, he redshirted, so he's not. He was already a redshirt, so he didn't see the field last year. But look, if he's that good, then that's another guy that come in and compete with Michael Hawkins. Now you got two really damn good quarterbacks that whoever wins. You know, this is what it is. It's not a bad situation to be in. Now, do I understand that people are saying, "Oh, we need," especially after what we saw this past season? I could understand wanting to go with the guy that has a lot of experience, but I don't know. Yeah, I like him too. And listen, I think that it's hard to see the field when Rowe didn't play not because he's not good. There's a lot of unbelievable safeties in that room, like Boganowski and Powers and Bowen, and then you still have Robert Spears Jennings in that room. Billy Bowman was there this year. I mean, that was a hard place to get into the rotation. And they got high hopes for these other guys too, the young dudes. So it wasn't because of that. It was just, man, there's just a packed ass room. Packed ass room. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks a lot, everybody, for coming in. I appreciate it, man. Really do. We've been about around 6. We got a gifted membership to Journey Jones. Gifted a membership. We haven't heard from you there, Journey, but welcome to the team. Make sure you jump into our Discord and check us out. We'd love to hear from you. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, Bishop Frank. Another gifted membership from Bishop Frank. We appreciate that always. Guys, I appreciate everybody for coming in and spending a couple hours with me. I'm not going to spend the whole night up like I did the other night. So definitely want to get some sleep. But hey, I appreciate it. And hey, let me know what you think. If am I crazy what I was saying about the Heisman Trophy thing? Am I crazy about my theories about what's going to happen with this quarterback room in Norman? I believe that they're going to go out there and get all the guys they need to get. I really do. As far as places of need, I'm kind of in agreement with this one. I think there's the places that need the most. I think it's just receiver at this point. I think you could probably use another corner, and then Woo Pig's in the house. Where you been? I didn't see you. What's up, man? Did you say anything? Or are you just watching? Man, we got to get together. We're going to have to get together, man. The Woo Pig podcast. Awesome stuff. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. We may pop in and do something tomorrow, but we'll see kind of what happens, how it all turns out. But I appreciate everybody popping in as they did. Run them likes up on your way out. I'd appreciate it. And hey, Merry Christmas to everybody. We will see you all on the next one.